Good morning, guys. I am Barry. I had a very interesting conversation last night, and I kind of want to talk about this because there was an individual I was speaking with that has the understanding that let me introduce. This is going to be about genders and stuff like that. This is actually going to be a little more extensive than a normal video because I have a lot to kind of ask questions for. Again, comment what you guys think below. So first off, I want to get the understanding between truth and lie. And I also want to talk a little bit about how sometimes hesitation will hold you for a lifetime of being kind of a fake Christian. And I'm guilty of this. So these are just some realizations that I'm coming to, I believe, understand, especially through prayer and reading the Word. Now, first, I want to make it clear, I used to be a gay man. Now, yes, I'm still attracted to guys, but I do nothing with that temptation. And it's been almost 15 years since I've even done anything. So I want to explain there are some truths in this pulling back to Christ that are real. There are only two genders. It's a man, a woman, male, female. And it's odd how some people can know that, believe that there are only two genders. It's just not really a disputable fact. I guess it's a deniable fact for some people, but for me, it's an undeniable fact because you're literally denying what is blatantly true. Now, when it comes to transgender, I stand on the understanding that transgender in of itself has not an existence. This doesn't exist. Because surgically, when you're done doing the things that make you feel more like you're in the body you're supposed to be in, your brain hasn't changed, but your body DNA hasn't either. So if you consider, now this is to be, I don't know. I don't know how to sugarcoat things somehow. So if someone believes themselves to be a transgender woman, genetically, when you pull yourself out, look in on that situation, what you're actually looking at is just a mutilated man who is confused mentally. And in my whole heart is one of those people who is in desperate need of Jesus Christ. I love everyone, but I love them enough not to be sugarcoated, to be blatant in what it is I understand. So I get that also it's weird how their argument to me would be that me denying my attraction to men, I'm not who I am. I'm not being who God made me, because God doesn't make mistakes. Well, but it's okay to go into a hospital and mutilate your body. So God doesn't make mistakes unless but sometimes he will by putting you in the wrong body. That doesn't make sense to me. And it's through my understanding and reading the Word that God is not making any mistakes whatsoever. if you are born in a body, that is exactly the body God intended you to be in. See, Satan has control over, his greatest tool is deception. He has control, he can get into your mind. So the mistake is believing that the body that God didn't make a mistake in giving you is not the right one. See, Satan goes through your mind through deception. And what he wants to do, because you were made in God's image, you look like God. So he wants you to mutilate yourself. But he wants to trick you. He wants you to think that you made the decision to do so. These are open-handed and closed-handed situations. And in my opinion, this is a closed-handed situation. This is my belief and understanding. So in the aspect, it's odd how you will see a person, or it's odd to have the belief that someone coming back to Christ is going to deny the old flesh and his desires, because that's not who I am. And I'm bad because I'm denying myself, because God doesn't make mistakes. But God sometimes does and puts you in the wrong body. But what I want people to understand is that is deception. Just because you cut or mutilate your body, you genuinely have not changed your gender. You are still genetically what you were born as. You've just cut off part of your body. That is the truth. And what greater deception can Satan do but to convince you that the desires in your mind you should embrace. No mistake in that. But your body is a mistake. Change it. That does not come from God. So, when you decide to change yourself surgically, you're not embracing who you are. You are running from who God intended you to be. And you have been deceived by Satan into thinking that right is wrong and wrong is right. You look like God. Satan hates that. And when he's got control of your mind, he will convince you to destroy your body. Now, on other topics, I hope I haven't offended anyone. This is not my intention. I wish to be loving. I wish to be walk the path as closely as possible. I'm not a perfect man. Man, though I am. Now, another issue with coming back to Christ sometimes is I feel like we've come to reading the Word. It's about 2 years coming back. Even, I guess I've been pulled away since before. I pulled away from my sexuality a decade and a half ago. In a weird way, it wasn't on purpose, but I guess it was. I don't know. But there comes a time when you get a new car and you're sitting in the car in the driver's seat and you're reading the car user manual. There comes a time when you've got to stop reading that manual and start the car and drive it. And so stop hesitating. So there is a Christian hesitation, I think, sometimes when you feel like you're this in between. The old you is gone and dead, never coming back again. But perhaps you don't really know how to walk in this new you. Perhaps sometimes it's confusing. Now, you're not lost. I thought there were times I felt lost. I didn't know who I was anymore, but I've now know that I wasn't lost. I was just meeting the new me, getting to understand who this new me is going to be. And it's scary, but I'm grateful for it. I love it. So there comes a time when reading the Word, you're going to find yourself feeling like you now need to start implementing this. So rather than just reading the Word every day, it's going to start bleeding into your heart. You're going to start hating sin. You're going to start hating cuss words. You're going to start hating the things that just years ago you wouldn't have given a second thought. Which is, and I'm loving it actually. I don't know. I feel like when you carry a lot of sin, it's like carrying a heavy backpack. Now here's the thing. I know in psychology, I'm not a psychologist. But why does an empty backpack on your back feel lighter than no backpack at all? Well, it's because you're used to wearing that backpack filled and heavy. But when you take that backpack off, you feel normal. Now here's the weird part about it. Take everything out of that backpack and then put it on. You, for some reason, feel lighter, which is the strangest thing in the world. But it's because your brain remembers how heavy that backpack should be. So it's like picking up a jug of milk, not realizing that it's empty, or maybe just a quarter full. And so you lift it with the strength of a full jug and then end up spilling milk everywhere because it's actually not that full. Those burdens are going to start eating at you. You're going to start hating that sin. You're going to start wanting to empty that backpack. I'm not good at any form of analogies either, but I think it's important to hold and steadfast to the truth. Jesus loved everybody he came into contact with. But he wasn't going to lie to you either. And this is the issue, I think. In our modern day societies, there's a lot of people who are gay who do realize that it is a sin. And that for some reason, it's just not something we can change, but it is something that you can control. So a married man doesn't cease being attracted to other women, but he doesn't sleep with them. He makes that, so I don't sleep with men, period. Now I get that that's going to disturb a lot of other old people that used to be in my life. I don't care. Let it disturb you. But I feel lighter. Now, I just need to stop hesitating. I need to make these videos more, but I need to get this community together. I need to make sure that we have a support group. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to pray. So there's going to be a lot of things I want to do. In fact, there's going to be a lot of things I am going to do. And I'm actually quite excited about it this morning. So I know I've said a lot of stuff that's a little controversial. And I would like to reiterate now that in no means whatsoever did I mean to offend anyone. I invite all of your comments. I invite all of your opinions, and I invite your testimonies and perhaps what you are going through. In fact, I invite all of it. If you like me and you like what I'm trying to do, if you are someone like me who needs support, there's really not many of us. I think it'd be wise if you subscribed, left a comment, maybe even liked the video and shared it with someone that you might also think will benefit. So these are my 2 cents today, based off of a few things that I've gone through since yesterday. I love you guys. Subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you guys in the next video.